Hi there. Ever wondered how to spot a Karen? Well, in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly how. Karen is a term we've all heard thrown around in recent pop culture. It's used to describe a certain type of individual who is particularly entitled, demanding, and oftentimes rude. This label isn't confined to any one demographic, and it's not about the person's name. It's about their behavior, their attitude, and their approach to the world around them. So, how do you identify a Karen? Let's delve into the characteristics. The first sign that someone might be a Karen is their sense of entitlement. This trait is often seen as the backbone of the Karen persona, the driving force behind their actions. They carry an expectation for preferential treatment as if it's their birthright. The world, according to a Karen, is one where they are the sun, and everyone else merely planets revolving around them. This sense of entitlement often manifests in everyday situations. Picture yourself at a restaurant, movie theater, or retail store. If there's a Karen nearby, you'll certainly know. They're the ones demanding the best table, insisting on a discount for no apparent reason, or asking for the manager when their unrealistic expectations aren't met. Remember, Karens aren't just difficult customers. They believe their needs and wants should be prioritized above others. They may cut in line, argue with staff over minor inconveniences, and generally make a scene to get their way. Their motto seems to be, if I'm unhappy, everyone else should be too. And yet, this sense of entitlement is not something they see as a flaw. Quite the contrary, Karens often perceive themselves as victims, wronged by the world, which in their view owes them something. They can't understand why people don't bend over backward to accommodate their demands. But entitlement is just the tip of the iceberg. There's more to a Karen than that. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the world of Karens in our upcoming segments. Another classic trait of a Karen is their confrontational and aggressive behavior. Now, this isn't about healthy assertiveness or standing up for one's rights. No, we're talking about a level of aggression that often borders on intimidating. Karens are typically quick to escalate situations, turning minor inconveniences into major issues, and they seem to thrive on the drama and disruption this creates. Imagine a tranquil scene at a local coffee shop. Suddenly, the peace is shattered by a loud, indignant voice. Chances are, you've just encountered a Karen. They're unafraid of public confrontations, often using such situations to assert dominance or to gain attention, and they typically use their voice as a weapon to intimidate or belittle others. The poor barista who added one less pump of vanilla syrup in their latte? They're likely to bear the brunt of a Karen's wrath. But perhaps one of the most telling characteristics of a Karen is their lack of remorse. They are usually unapologetic for their behavior, showing little to no regard for the feelings or well-being of others. In their world, they are the victim, and everyone else is either an obstacle or an adversary. So we've established that Karens are entitled and confrontational, but there's one more trait that's often overlooked. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the psyche of a Karen in our next segment. The final telltale sign of a Karen is a complete lack of self-awareness. This trait is one of the most defining characteristics of a Karen. They often operate in a bubble of their own, oblivious to the consequences of their actions on the people around them. They tend to be uninformed or misinformed about the situations they find themselves in, and yet they speak with a conviction that would lead you to believe they are experts on the subject. A Karen is quick to play the victim card, but slow to accept responsibility for their actions. They frequently deflect blame and refuse to acknowledge the role they play in creating the very situations they complain about. This lack of self-awareness can be both baffling and frustrating to those who encounter a Karen. So, now you know how to spot a Karen, but remember, not everyone having a bad day is a Karen. To recap, identifying a Karen is about recognizing their sense of entitlement, confrontational behavior, and lack of self-awareness. We've journeyed through the subtleties of spotting a Karen, from their distinct characteristics to their unique behaviors. However, it's essential to remember not to label every difficult person as a Karen. This term should be reserved for those who truly embody these traits. So, the next time you encounter someone with these traits, you'll know you've just spotted a Karen. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.